Good morning, you guys. So Eliana usually does all of our sound and video and audio. And I don't even have this microphone plugged in right now. So I'm literally just holding it because it makes me feel less insane just talking into my phone by myself. But I'm gonna really try to speak up. So just bear with me on the technical side of things. I really hope this turns out okay. But good morning. It's Wednesday morning for me right now, but I think this will probably be released tomorrow or Friday. So good morning to whatever day this finds you. As we mentioned, Ellie and I are doing something a little different this week. We're doing little mini solo sessions where we kind of just break apart and talk about our own things, because we couldn't make time to get together this week, which is totally okay. We're really excited about it. I was actually just watching Eliana's, and oh my goodness, this girl brought it. She was just like spewing wisdom, and I literally was like, I want to take notes. And the stuff she was saying was just really resonating with some things I'm going through in my life right now, that we hadn't even talked about separately. So it was just a really great episode. Really talking about identity and friendships, and you guys should definitely go check it out. My episode, I want to be kind of like a little relationship TED talk, and I'm going to talk about something in relationships that I have like a very big opinion on, because it's something that I've struggled with a lot in my relationship, and that is the concept of, is this person the one? Or I guess the question of, is this person the one? I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so you're drinking it with me, and I'm going to be sipping it from time to time. But this is literally a ginormous question in our society, because majority of the people are out there in their college years, in their 20s, looking for that life partner. I mean, at least I'm under the impression that most people want to find someone to spend their life with. And, you know, there's probably some in the minority that don't, but I can say we can all generally agree that this is something that we all are seeking, whether we're like actively in a season of seeking it or not. It's like a long-term goal for a lot of us. So this was something that during my relationship in college continually came to my mind, whether it was through other social influences or people around me asking the question, you know, do you think Jake is the one for you? Or whether just like, you know, maybe I couldn't sleep one night and I'm trying to think about my future and everything that's going on. And I would ask myself, well, is he the one for me? You know, like that's a lot of pressure on one person, but we do it. We ask ourselves this. And I was getting really upset by the question, because it just left a lot of room for Jake to not meet expectations of, okay, well, if there's only one person in this world out there that could be the best partner for me for the rest of my life, what if I'm not looking at him? What if I'm not across the table from dinner at him? What if he's, you know, somewhere else and our paths are about to bump, you know, a couple months, years down the road? Like, should I not keep my options open? And so it was just kind of this haunting thought and question that I dealt with for probably the greater half of our relationship. And Jake and I have talked about it, and he struggled with it too. Just asking like, but how do we know out of all the little fishies in the sea that we are the two fish for each other? You know, people say there's so many fish in the sea, and there truly is. But, you know, after months of struggling with this and months of really hyper analyzing Jake and I's relationship and looking for every possible way that it would fail, because I needed to be absolutely 100% certain that he was the one for me, I did this for a year and a half, almost 2 years. After all this time and all this stress and all this struggle, I just decided one day, you know, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I really don't think I believe in this concept of the one. It surely cannot be how it is when it comes to romantic relationships in a world of however many 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many billion people. There can't possibly be just one person out there for another person. And you might think, well, did this, you know, create some dilemmas where you were suddenly like, oh, I don't buy into this idea of the one, so I'm just gonna keep my options open and almost use it to make me less loyal to the person I was with. But instead, I think it has an opposite reaction to where when you open yourself up to the idea that there could be multiple good fits for the partner of your life, it actually gives you so much freedom to choose that person in front of you. Or maybe if you're not dating, to choose the next person that comes along in front of you that you want to date. So when I shifted my mentality and was less focused on analyzing Jake, trying to see if he met this mark for the one of my life, which honestly, I didn't even know what it looked like. You know, what does it look like when you found the one? Like, so many people are like, oh, I just know when I know, or, you know, it was love at first sight. And I genuinely believe in all of those sentiments, but it was just not the case for me. I don't know if I'm too much of an overthinker, or if I just have my guard up too often and I don't let myself have those kind of like overwhelming emotional moments where I come to realizations. It's more like a slow, steady progression for me. And I've always found myself so jealous of people who could sit there and be like, I laid eyes on my significant other from across the cafe, and it was the golden light was hitting them, and I just like a ray came down from the heavens, and I just knew they were the one for me. I'm always like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Like, I've always wanted that for myself, just because we love that idea of being just overwhelmed by attraction and love for someone. But yeah, that was just not happening for me when I was dating and getting to know Jake. I enjoyed every second I had with him, and we had so much fun together, and we complimented each other really well, but there wasn't ever like an overwhelming, this I know when I know, like, this man, I'm gonna marry this man. Until I surrendered to that idea that there has to be one person for me. And I've talked to Jake about this, and we've come to the agreement that, you know, there could be 4, 5, 10, maybe 20 guys in the world living right now who could make a good spouse for me, could make a good husband for me, and vice versa. There could be those women out there that could make a great wife for Jake. But that's not the point. The point is knowing that there could be other options out there for you. You are not gonna focus on pursuing those other options, but instead redirect your focus solely to the person in front of you. And then you might be like, well, Lydia, what if I'm in a toxic, harmful relationship and you're giving me all this advice to just stop pursuing other people and focus solely on them? And I think that's where there's more questions to be asked and more analytics to be done. So it sounds so scientific when it's literally just like a relationship. But so once I got past the point where I surrendered to the notion that there is one man out there for me and I have to spend my life finding him, and I started to realize, okay, even if there is more than one, the guy I'm with right now is a great partner and boyfriend to me. So I needed to get down to the nitty gritty and find out, okay, but is he going to be a good husband to me? Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink of water. Also, the sun is blinding me right now. So I thought this would be like good morning light, but It's just light, a lot of light. Where was I? Oh, I decided to ask a couple follow-up questions to analyze and just evaluate, is this person I'm with going to be a good husband for me? And some of those questions I asked were, is he going to be a good father? You know, being a mom and having a family of my own is one of my greatest dreams in life, and I could never be with someone who I knew wouldn't support me and be an amazing father to my children. And that was such an easy check yes. Like, Jake has the biggest heart for kids. He has the biggest heart for animals. Like, he's just so tenderhearted, and I know he's gonna make an amazing dad. I'm so excited for that season together. And so I was like, okay, I have this value of the person I need to be with being a good father checked. Something else I value is faith, and I'm a Christian. That's the faith I practice and I believe in, and it's actually a really big part of my life. And so it was important to me to find a partner that was aligned in that faith, aligned in those values and morals, and that could come alongside me and encourage me in that aspect of my life, and just be a friend, be someone we can rely on and bounce ideas off each other and just talk about, you know, the deeper meaning of life with, and just come together and encourage one another. So it was important to me that the person I be with for the rest of my life was aligned in their worldview and in their faith. And Jake was able, I was like, okay, yes, check, like, we're there, we're aligned. So, you know, I was checking off these boxes I guess Jake was checking off these boxes. And I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. Like, it does not need to be a 10 to 12 list of all these specific things you want in a spouse. Like, I stripped it down and simplified it to, okay, what are some things that are non-negotiables for the rest of my life in a partner? And I just asked those questions. Another one was, in my free time, do we enjoy doing the same things? Like, do we enjoy spending our free time together? And we do. We love to be active. We love to work out together. We love to spend time with our families together. That's something we do a lot. We have the same, like, idea of social settings and the things we like to do with friends. And so I was like, okay, like, you know, I can hang out with this person for the rest of my life. Like, I know I'm not going to be over here scrapbooking and he's going to be over there, you know, playing, like, bowling. I don't know. It's like, I'm not saying you can't have differing passions and interests, because we definitely do. Like, there are times when Jake goes and does his thing, and there are times when I go and do my thing, and we have no interest in what the other one is doing. But there are also so many mutual things we love doing together. And I think your time, especially when you get married and you're settled into jobs, and just everyone's time is so valuable because it's so limited and it's so easily booked by something. Like, we're constantly booking up our schedules. I think it's important to, when you have free time and leisurely time, to still, like, want to be together in some capacity, because sometimes that's all you get. Like, some days watching our favorite show on the couch with Jake is all I get. And so it's important to have some mutual interests and mutual things that you love to do together that you can come together to do, and you know you're both going to have so much fun. So that was another question I asked. The other one was, do my friends and family approve, or do they get along with him? Do they like him? I hold my friends and family so close to my heart. They are my people. They are my team. I know they're going to be there for me no matter what. And it was very important to me that Jake got along with them, and that they were able to, you know, be in the room and talk and hang out even when I wasn't there, that he developed his own relationship with those people in my life, and that it wasn't purely reliant on me. And over the course of our relationship, I saw him do that. You know, like, my friends became his friends, and the people I connected him with became his friends. And, you know, he started to have his own relationship with these people outside of me and my family. You know, he was willing to spend time with them and have fun with them and do the things that my family loves to do. Like, he just became a part of our family, and that was another thing that was so important to me when I thought about him becoming my husband. And so, you know, we're going along, we're dating, and like, I'm realizing these things all while realizing, you know, hey, it's okay, Lydia, like, don't stress, you know, you don't have to have this overwhelming feeling that he is the one for you. Like, you can just love him and love who he is in your life and love the person who he is to a core, and that can be enough. That truly can be enough. You know, you don't have to have some crazy spiritual experience. I think it's all about how you feel and how he makes you feel and how your heart feels when you're around them. And you know, we are all old enough to the point where we know when we are being taken care of and when we are loved by someone, and when that person is going to set aside their needs for our own. Like, we are all fully aware of acknowledging that in someone. And so, like, take the risk to really step back and ask yourself those questions and really think hard about, like, who this person is and how they're making you feel. And if you can answer positively to these questions, like, maybe that's enough. You know, maybe you don't need to constantly have this fear and this guilt that you might be missing out on something better, but maybe the more powerful and freeing thing to do is just to take that person and to love them completely for who they are and for what they bring to your life. And instead of having, you know, whatever it is, the universe, the world, God, bring this person to you and force them in front of your face and like tell you this is the one for you, maybe you just make them the one, and you give them that status and that title in your life completely on your own, fully knowing that there could be other people out there that, you know, could also fit compatibly with your life. But yeah, knowing that you're willingly choosing to give this person that space in your life. And I just think that's been so transformative and so powerful in my relationship. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. Maybe I'm the only girl in the world that went through this struggle of battling back and forth on, should I marry this man? But I can sit here on our bed telling you that it worked out. And yeah, relationships are tough, and there's so many different things to navigate in a relationship. But I really think we overcomplicate it a little too often. And I think we should just get back to the basics and back to what our heart is telling us. So yeah, if you guys have any follow-up comments or questions, please reach out. I would love to have a conversation about this. Again, I really hope that all made sense. I did not prep for this at all. I just knew what I was going to talk about, and I literally just sat down and like hit the red button. So it could have come out completely jumbled, but if it did, please forgive me. And yeah, if you haven't checked out Ellie's episode, go check it out. It is so good. I'm probably gonna listen to it 10 more times this week. And hopefully we are back together soon. But this is Lydia from the Pink Standard Pod. Have a great day, guys.